So my name is Navalayo Osembo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Enda. Enda is a performance running footwear and apparel brand, and we work with Kenyan athletes to make running shoes for runners around the world. The inspiration for starting Enda was different things. First, the realization that many countries, if you look outside, they take advantage of their reputation to give them economic benefit. Like if someone says I bought a German car, there is an assumption of quality because of the engineering. If someone says I have an Italian bag, everybody assumes it's like the highest caliber. But then we have the best runners, but we don't have the best running shoes. And so that business opportunity was very clear in terms of creating something that also Kenyans can benefit. And also to show that Kenya and Africa are good for production and manufacturing. We're not just consumers or a dumping ground. We are also capable of having something that is good enough to share with the rest of the world. When we started, I had that question. Now I know why. Because it's expensive and it takes a lot. Like you need to have not only the vision, but the capacity to do it, because it's manufacturing. And manufacturing is capital intensive venture. Before you buy machinery, before you have everything in place, it's very expensive. Understanding how to access markets is also prohibitive, because you can make them, but then how do you access the international market? How do you access the niche running spaces where people are talking about running, be it running magazines or running events? Like there are those global things. If you're in the running space, you need to be there for you to kind of show your existence and to get validation. I'd say the influences are many. From international development, I think I was motivated to be fast. In international development, Africa is always last. So, okay, what do we need to do to fix this Africa so that people stop talking about us like this? And everyone's dream is to save Africa. And I'm like, no, we actually just need opportunities. We don't need people to tell us what to do and stuff like that. We need a level ground. Going through that course made me understand that to change Africa, we have to change our economic perception. We have to change how we deal with the world. We have to look at ourselves not as a dumping ground of places, but as the source. We really tried to figure out the name. We had a bunch of names. We figured out Enda felt perfect because it was, first of all, it means go. It's the spirit of running, And then it's also the word that a lot of athletes use. People use when they're supporting their athletes, like whether it's rugby or it's athletics, they'll always be like, Enda, like go, go, go. And so Enda just seemed like the perfect name. It's very short, it's easy to remember. It's in Kiswahili, so it's also part of trying to pass our culture through the brand. Right now we have 3 shoes. The E10 was our first model. So E10 was basically paying tribute to the history of running. It was named after the E10 town, which is where most of the runners train, and it has produced a lot of gold medal athletes in athletics. And so the shoe initially came in red, green, and black, which were the colors of the flag. Our logo is the tip of a spear, which is from the coat of arms. It's a spirit of go, it's a pride thing, And also it goes with the name of the brand. The E10 also features 12 lines. So the 12 lines represent 12th of December, which is Jamhuri. And it's also when we became a republic. Again, the concept of freedom. And then all our shoes have the word Harambe at the bottom, to pay ode to the fact that we, as a company, we came to be because of the spirit of Harambe, and it's also the Kenya national motto. And then the E10 also has geometric patterns. Patterns were lifted from Swahili lessons, and the heel is the Rift Valley. So the little depression represents the Rift Valley, where the athletes usually train, and majority of them come from. The La Patette. So we were trying to figure out how to keep the theme of the Kenyan flag going without making it so subtle, whereas here we use bold colors. Here we just stuck to the eyelets. So red, green, and black. Again, the back fabric was to imitate a kitenge. Here it's literally a kikoi fabric. Just basically, we were trying to incorporate that element of Kenya into it, so that at least there's 2 kinds of fabric that we use. it has the word Harambee as the others, and at the groove did the topographical map. So basically took a part of the map and ingrained it in the mold for the shoe, and so these are literal locations somewhere in the Rift Valley. The Lapatet was inspired by natural features, so the upper is wavy. The original was grey, yellow and blue. So grey for the sky, blue for the ocean, and the yellow was for the savannah. And then this one is called the Cubifora. So Cubifora, if you follow the theory of evolution, is where Homo erectus, essentially humankind, became upright and basically bipedal, which if you look at the history of running, essentially then it meant he had to run to fend for himself. So this one is saying not only is Kenya the home of runners, it is the home of running, literally, in the evolution species. On the side, it has the inscriptions on the loops of where the laces go. It has 1470. So 1470 is part of the naming regime for the skull of Homo rudolfensis. So the skull of Homo rudolfensis that was found around Lake Turkana in Cubifora. The insole, it's imprinted with the word Ileret. So Ileret is near Cubifora, but it's also the place where there were remains of Homo rudolfensis. So this one pays ode to Homo rudolfensis and Homo erectus, but also the fact that it's a trail running shoe and it has more lagged patterns. It's very grippy. It's created to be waterproof and to be able to handle better terrain. Our shoes are designed with the way Kenyan athletes train. So the 10 is very, very light. It is for shorter runs, ideally 5 to 20K. So this is the shoe where they're like, we want to put on shoes without feeling like we've put on shoes. The Lapatet is more bouncier. It has like a much softer cushion, thicker. This is a 6mm drop. And the idea is that it's for a longer ride. So if you're doing a full marathon and above, we recommend the Lapatet. And then now the Cubifora is going to be for trail running. If you are going to either or off-road, on-road, in the mountains, in the forest, this is the shoe. It's always interesting people compare to Adidas and Nike, and I'm like, in a core running shop, okay. That's not what people are asking for. The running shoe brands that are at the top are very, very different from those two brands. But I would say the key thing that's putting us different is our emphasis on mid-foot strike. So basically, we are more of the natural style of running as opposed to extra cushioning to compensate for poor running. And we try to get people to be like, okay, have you thought about how you're training and how you're running? Challenges are there, Challenges are how to make sure we always have money on time for working capital because we're always ordering and selling. Other challenges are more of, as you know, we are really trying to get the process done in Kenya. So there's that, and also the element of wanting to push more of the production of the shoe to Kenya. But that means you also have to have the demand to prove that the investment is worth it, so that you're not just making shoes and they're sitting in the store. And I think also just the key thing is we're always asking ourselves, are we representing the Kenyan brand as good as it should be? We are definitely targeting to be a top 3 brand. The running shoe industry is interesting. A lot of newcomers usually climb the way to the top. And so I see Enda basically being that newcomer as well.